Philly was good. You know, the problem with going last is that you hear everybody else's stuff, and then you start thinking about changing your stuff while you're listening. So, because this is Philly, I'm gonna do this joint off the top, right? All right. So, Ignite Philly, I want you to help me eliminate my job. Let me introduce myself. My name is Kenneth L. Johnson. I'm president of East Coast Executives. Now, I know it sounds kind of crazy because you're probably wondering, there's probably a group of you that are saying, how can we help him eliminate his job? And then there's probably another group of you saying, why should we help him eliminate his job? And because this is Philly, there's a group of y'all saying, why doesn't this guy want to work? All right? So I don't have a problem with working. Don't get me wrong, I have multiple jobs, right? I'm the president of my own company, and I know there's some other people out here that are presidents of their own organizations. So you know I wear many different hats. I'm a Forbes council member. So with that being said, I also am a Forbes career coach, and I contribute as a writer on the Forbes website, and I write articles on workplace diversity. I'm a consultant with the Urban League of Philadelphia, the New York Urban League, and also the National Urban League. I also am host of a radio show in Philadelphia that airs on Wednesday from 4 to 5 on WPPM 106.5 called The Career Seekers Show. We brand it as the only source for job and career search information with a focus on diversity. That's a shameless plug, but I brought up diversity. I want you guys to help me eliminate my job as a diversity recruiter. Now, some of you are probably wondering, what's a diversity recruiter? A diversity recruiter, companies come to me and asked me to help them add diverse talent to their recruitment pipelines. I started my business in South Philadelphia on September 3rd, 2001 as a recruiting firm. I had great clients, JP Morgan Chase, Vanguard, Wilmington Trust, Wilmington Savings and Financial Services. But that all changed 8 days later on September 11th. You see, we experienced the attacks on the World Trade Center. And as I was kind of sitting in my living room, watching my TV, looking at the events and the destruction that was taking place in Lower Manhattan, I decided that I couldn't watch it anymore. So I turned the TV off and I picked up a magazine that was on my table. And it was a Black Enterprise magazine. So as I leafed through the magazine, I came across an article about a gentleman named Kenneth Chenault. You see, Mr. Chenault had accepted the role of CEO at American Express. An African-American male was CEO of a Fortune 500 company. So as I continued to read the article, I realized that Mr. Chenault was only the third African-American male to ever be named CEO of a Fortune 500 company. And I thought that was strange, but as history and racism would prove, that wasn't strange at all, because today in 2018, there are still only 3 African-American male CEOs at Fortune 500 companies. So I wanted to make a difference, right? So I decided that our firm would be a diversity recruitment firm. We wouldn't be a recruitment firm, we'd be a diversity recruitment firm with the hopes of helping other individuals get to a point where possibly they could be the CEO of a company. Now, I know some of you are thinking this is a black and white issue, but trust me, this isn't a black and white issue at all. The numbers are equally disparaging for all underserved groups. Now, I spoke about African Americans. So African American CEOs make up 1% of the Fortune 500, right? Now, that's a really, really minute number. But Latino CEOs make up 2% of the Fortune 500. So that number is also discouraging. But then we talk about Asians. So Asians make up less than 2% of the CEOs in the Fortune 500. So you can see where these numbers are going, right? It's really frustrating as a recruiter when you see some of these numbers. But more importantly also, women. Women, although they make up over 50% of the population, they only make 5% of the Fortune 500 CEOs are women. So we started thinking, right? How do we at East Coast Executives make a difference? Well, the way we make a difference is if we all come together and promote diversity and inclusion. So what I ask from all of you guys, right? When you return to your workplace tomorrow or whenever, even if it's tonight, Start looking at your company's diversity and inclusion mission. And if you feel your company's falling short, hold the leaders of that organization accountable. Start promoting diversity and inclusion in your workplace. Start promoting diversity and inclusion in your community. And if we do that, you guys can help me eliminate my job as the world's #1 diversity recruiter. I'm Kenneth L. Johnson.